Hey, what's up, guys? This is Frank from AI Hustle Game. Today, I'm going to show you part of the editing process behind my 4DX Tsunami AI short film, and more specifically, how I created the movie trailer to promote the film, right? A big reason to have these AI trailers is, it's really good to post on your YouTube, Instagram, Reels, TikTok, Facebook, and pretty much every social media platform, so that way you start building an audience and your audience starts building interest in around the stuff that you do. I mean, for most of my projects, I think around 1 minute it's a real good length for a trailer. It gives you enough time to establish the story, introduce the characters, create suspense, and show some of your biggest moments. So the first thing I like to do when creating a movie trailer is actually start with the sound and music before I start editing the visuals. For this project, I went into 11 labs, started searching and experimenting with trailer music that could match the mood of the film, right? So the prompt kind of went like somewhere around the lines of cinematic horror thriller, trailer music, dark, suspenseful atmosphere, slow tension build up, approximately 1 minute duration. That's what I wanted. So for this trailer, that's one thing I kind of look at before I start making the music is how long do I want this trailer, right? So 11 labs generated a few different options for me, and there were two tracks that really stood out. So let's go ahead and take a look.
It came from the deep. Nobody heard it scream. Shh. Don't look at the water. It's already underneath us.
There's no escape from the tide.
Kind of started off slow for me. I kind of didn't see too much that I could do with it because it's just not too much of the suspenseful music changes, small little impacts, bass hits. I need risers, just something that's going to keep the trailer moving and flowing the way I want it to. So this was another option, and I think this is the one that I went with. So just take a listen.
It came from the deep. Nobody heard it scream. Shh. Don't look at the water. It's already underneath us.
There is no escape from the tide.
Perfect. So yeah, that's the one that I went with because I kind of felt like it has more of the punch and more of I can work with. Now what we're gonna do is go back to Premiere. Before I even start adding movie clips, I like to listen to the entire track and look for the important moments in the music, right? We're going to let the soundtrack help determine the pacing of the trailer, right? So
It came from the deep.
now that we have our music, we want to make sure we're matching and syncing our clips with the music. When I'm editing in Premiere Pro, one thing I really like to pay attention to is the audio waveform. You can
It
see
came
that
from the
right
deep.
here in the timeline. I like to watch the waveform because it helps me see where the bigger hits, transitions, and changes in the music are happening. Those are usually the moments where I want my clips to change
Nobody
to.
heard it scream.
So instead of just randomly placing clips on the timeline, I'm trying to make every shot feel like it belongs with the music. In the beginning of the trailer, we start by establishing our environment. For this 4DX
Don't
Tsunami
look at the
trailer,
water.
I want the audience to understand where we are first. We're inside this movie theater. Everything still feels
Don't look at
normal.
the water.
We show the environment, our characters, and a few moments that introduce the experience. Then we slowly start adding anticipation.
It came from the deep.
This is where the music is also starting to build. So,
Nobody
as the
heard it
soundtrack
scream.
becomes more intense, I start adding clips that make the audience feel like something's about to happen.
Don't look at the
Maybe
water.
it's a reaction shot, maybe we see water, maybe something feels a little strange inside the theater. The important thing is that our clips are building along with the music. As we get closer to the middle of the trailer, this is where I start looking for some of the bigger parts of the soundtrack. You can actually see those bigger moments inside the waveform. When I see one of those major hits, I try to match it with a stronger visual. There is also a specific part of this music where you can hear the tick tock sound, almost like a timer or clock counting down. For that section, I chopped up several of my clips into really short cuts and synced each one with those tick tock sounds. So it was like a tick, cut, talk, cut, tick, cut, talk, cut. It's creating a rhythm between the visuals and the soundtrack. And because the cuts are getting faster, it makes the trailer feel like it's building towards something bigger. This is where I also start showing some more intense clips. I want the audience to get enough action where they're thinking, okay, I need to see what happens next. Another thing I like doing is matching what's happening inside the music with what's happening visually. For example, there is one specific part of this track where you can hear what sounds like somebody yelling. So I found a clip of one of my characters yelling and placed that shot exactly at that moment. Now, the sound and the visuals feel like they were originally created together.
There is no escape from the tide.
Little details like that can make a huge difference. That's why I always say to get creative with your editing. Don't just put clips together. Listen to your soundtrack, ask
It
yourself,
came from the
what
deep.
visual would feel good right here? Follow the rhythm, follow the
Nobody
emotion,
heard it
and create a
scream.
flow throughout the entire trailer. And that's pretty much how I approach the editing for that
Don't look at
4DX
the
Tsunami
water.
trailer. Start with your music, watch your waveform, match your cuts to the important moments, build your environment first, create anticipation, slowly increase the intensity,
It's
sync
already
your
underneath
visuals
us.
with unique sounds inside the music, and then finish with something that makes the audience want to watch the full movie. Most importantly, get creative. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit of my editing process, and I hope this helps you when you're creating trailers for your own AI filming projects.
There is no escape from the tide.